Good morning, everybody, and welcome again to Expert Perspective with Anita Michael. So, Expert Perspective um, is a session we have every week at the Net Foundation to enable us learn about different things, different areas of life, different perspectives from different angles, and it is always handled by the best of the best of the best of hands. And today, joining me on Expert Perspective, we were talking about strategic writing. This is a very interesting one for me, and I look forward to learning so much. And because I do not want to take up a lot of time, because this is going to be more of a presentation, I'm just going to take the backstage and let the expert do her job, which she's very good at. Today, I'll be having my namesake on the session. Her name is Anita Ikechukwu, and she'll be joining us and teaching us about strategic writing. I am a writer, and I cannot wait to learn more about strategic writing, especially how to position myself. And Anita is going to do justice to that. So without further ado, please let's make welcome Anita Ikechukwu as she takes us on this session. This session is going to last roughly, her presentation will be between 40 to 45 minutes, and we are starting right about now. Welcome, Anita. It is so good to have you here on the show this morning. So the floor is yours. Please just go ahead and do your thing.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma'am Anita. Thank you, Sir Sikon. I'm so excited and I feel so privileged to be part of the experts' perspective today. So I'm going to, my name is Anita Ikechukwu. I'm a content writer and a copywriter. I'm also a VA. So today we'll be talking about strategic writing, and we'll focus more on content writing and copywriting. So for writing, there are other niches under strategic writing, but my focus today will be mainly on content writing and copywriting. So start now. My slides, let me just go through the slides, show you guys what we're going to be talking about today. So the first on the slide is mastering content writing and copywriting. Then we'll move down to the introduction where I get to share my story. Yeah, so a lot of persons I for one got inspired by stories of people that have been in the field before me, people that had many challenges and ups and downs, and then how they were able to pull through. So those stories inspired me growing up in my niche, which I'm still growing. And so I would also love to share my story with people out there to encourage someone that's been having some challenges as touching content writing and copywriting. And then we have the overview, the create principles and the strategies. And then next on my slide is the importance of quality content. There's the statistics. I believe every writer should know the importance why you're giving out your content. It helps to add more value to your content. And then there is defining the content writing and the copywriting. Yeah, because there is a slight difference. I've talked with some persons and they tend to miss these two, content writing and copywriting. So in this slide, we will talk about how to differentiate between content writing and copywriting. Of course, I'll be giving examples and concise definitions for each. And then last on my slide is monetization strategy. So beyond writing for passion, because I know a lot of persons have passion for writing and all. So beyond writing for passion, there is the monetary part. Okay, so in this slide, you learn how you can also make money from doing what you love. So that's it for this slide. And then there's the last one. This is not very important for now. So we just start with the mastering content writing and copywriting. So things about mastering content writing and copywriting, there is a skill to this thing. It's not just about writing it, it's not just about putting out words and everything. Mastering in copywriting or content writing, it doesn't just happen overnight. So I've seen a lot of people and they just want to start up and they just want to have everything. It takes a lot of practice to get to the expert level. So it takes a lot of patience and everything. So it doesn't just happen overnight. It's a continuous journey of learning, and not just learning, adaptation follows. While you learn, you adapt, because seasoned professionals often find that things evolve every day as touching digital landscape. Okay, so you see the evolving that happens, and so that's where the continuous journey of learning comes in for you. And so, but the beautiful thing is that the journey is worth embarking on, whether you are a seasoned marketer, a business owner, or someone eager to explore the world of words. These skills can set you apart in the digital world. So that's that for the market mastering content writing and copywriting. And so, but I'll say in the dynamic realm of digital marketing and communication, you see the art of crafting compelling contents and copies, like that's the copywriting now it has never been more vital if you understand these concepts very well. And so whether you're looking to captivate an audience, drive sales, or build a brand, mastering the crafts of copywriting and content writing is just the key. And so we'll be looking at all of that today. We'll look at how we understand the difference, the synergy, the importance of quality content, the definition, and the monetization strategy. So that's it for mastering content writing and copywriting. So I'll just move on to the overview of key principles and strategies for effective content writing and copywriting. Okay, so the first I have on my list is the know your audience rule. It is one of the most important principle and strategy in content writing and copywriting. In writing generally, you have to know your audience. You have to understand your target audience need. What's their pain point like? What's the preferences? Okay, so it's not just about writing. It's not just about portraying at word. You know who you are talking to and what they like or need. You write in a way that makes sense to them. Not just about writing everything, just blah blah blah, putting up the words and that's it for you. You see, if you keep on doing that, you end up not landing a gig for yourself, and you end up not having the growth you desire for your skill. Yeah, and so because of the time, I'm trying to limit some of the elaborate explanations I have for the outline bullet points in my head. Okay, so but I'll just try to summarize my words. This is more like a summary. So now the second I have on my list is use clear and short messages. I think this will be for copywriting now. Remember, I'm compiling the two together. Okay, so I will still differentiate. I will still explain the difference between content writing and copywriting. Yeah. So, but for now, I've allowed the two. And so for the second one, the use clear and short messages is just simple. You just need to write in a simple way. Avoid using complicated words. Because when you're using complicated words, you are complicating things for your audience and for yourself. and which is very, very bad for writing. And so you make sure people can easily understand what you are saying. In quest of using good grammar, you should also ensure that your words are very simple. Your words are very simple. Your words are very easy to communicate to your audience, and your audience can relate where they can understand exactly what you're saying. Okay, so that's like the second. The third I have in my list here is the create attention grabbing titles. Okay, so I think here is where you should pay more attention, because is your attention grabbing title that will make people to now go through. So you make your titles very interesting so people want to read more. Okay, so if your title is not grabbing, attention grabbing, that's where the whole thing ends, because I should be able to see, okay, this is what I'm coming, this is the anticipate the body of the story, the whole content. But then if the title is not attention grabbing, that's you can't even get the audience you need. And so you'll be sure to use strong words to make your titles exciting. Yeah, so that's the third one on my list. And then there's the tell a story. I don't know. This one is very important. Okay, so I noticed a lot of persons have it's okay, but before then, I've when I was growing up in my skill, and when I was taking trainings and everything, I found out that reading. I found love reading books. I love reading books, and that was what's part of the thing that inspired me to start writing my own stories and everything, my own books. So I found out that reading a book that has stories in it is quite easier. Like you can't compare it when you're reading. I'm not trying to take out the the parts where articles are just plain, they're just being concise, you're talking about a particular point. But then generally for content writing and copywriting precisely, there's a need for you to tell a story. There's a need for you to share stories to make your writing more interesting. It makes people to say, okay, if say you're writing from a client's pain point, okay, when you buttress your point with a story, they'll be like, okay, this happened before, and this is how this person dealt with this, whatever content you're putting out. So the story make people feel something when they read your words. It gives them this feeling when they are reading your words, and they just reading, I don't know for other people, but for me, I when I read, I see pictures in my head. Okay, so when you're giving them the stories, it creates pictures in their mind. It creates a very good picture in their imagination, and so it makes it more catchy for you as a writer. And so there is the art pictures and videos. That this one is optional. There's some stories, or there's some books, there's some articles that demands that you add pictures and videos that can help explain things, but this is not always necessary. Yeah, because I've written a lot of books, and it doesn't I didn't add pictures and videos. But then also, as a skilled writer, there's a need for you to get mastery in adding picture and videos in case your audience requires you add images to make your writing more fun to look at. I think the only reason why people add that is just to make your writing more fun to look at. Okay, so then there is the show why you're special, and that's the next one on my list, because you're not the only writer. You're not the only one that is writing. You're not the only one that is skilled. A lot of persons are out there pushing out their content. And so there has to be something spectacular about you. You have to explain what makes your stuff better than others. Okay, it's not about writing, you put that words there. Okay, fine. What you just gave me, I can also get it from another person. But then there's this thing that makes you special, that separates you from other skilled writer. So you tell people why they should care about what you're saying, why you're writing your stories, you're writing your copy, or why you're writing your content. And so that's for explaining why you're special. And then there is the follow AIDA, AIDA, I love to call it AIDA. Okay, but it's more of abbreviation. Yeah, it's more of abbreviation. Okay, so I'll just explain that AIDA principle. Okay, that's the seventh one. So the thing is, the AIDA is just getting people's attention first. That's just what it's about. You keep them interested. You make them want what you're offering. And beyond making them see what you're offering, wanting what you're offering, you also tell them what to do next. They need to know, okay, I've reached this point. What's the next thing? What's the next thing that follows what you just said? Okay, so people love to be guided, and people don't like stress. You don't like stress. When I'm making them to go to here, you're putting out a story, you're putting up a content or copies now, and your audience are just confused. And not just that you're confusing your audience, you're pointing them to this, giving them a lot of work to do. You just get bored and they will just leave your. Remember, we just talked about showing what makes you special. Okay, so if you're going to make yourself, if you're going to show why you're special, why you're different from other people, you shouldn't give them the stress of going around. Okay, do this. You just tell them what to do next. Just point them. Okay, your content should be able to say this is the next thing. Okay, so that's for it. And then there is the Google Tricks. Yeah, this really helps me a lot, these Google Tricks. So this Google Tricks is just to use words that people search for on Google. You know how people technology now has helped a lot of persons. And so if you want to have a knowledge, not a thorough knowledge now, I used to tell my students, if you want to know, okay, I'm also a medical practitioner. Okay, so I used to tell people, if you want to get information on Google as touching health, don't just bank on the information to get there, because on Google you see a lot of commentaries, but that's not even the reason why I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying I even mentioned this is to say that people always go to Google for research. And so, as a writer now, you have to make sure your titles and descriptions on Google are good. You have to make sure they are very good, they are very catchy, they are very lively. So as people go to get information on Google, they see yours and it just captivates their mind. It's very captivating and chill. So Google Trees works very perfectly for writing, and it has worked for me severally. So I think that's a very important key principle to take note on. Okay, more of a strategy. And so there is the check for mistakes, where of course as a writer there is the proofreading, there is the editing. You look out for your spelling, your grammar mistakes, and fix them, just to ensure your writing makes sense and it flows nicely. I don't know. There are some articles that you just read or some stories, they're not making any point. It's not flowing, it's stressful to go through. You have to make sure that your writing makes sense and it flows nicely. And then, as a writer, you also have to keep trying new things. This is very, 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 very important. You test different ways of writing and see what works. Don't just stay on, okay, you learned this today, and then that's just it for your skill. You can't even grow by not striving, by not exploring. Thank God for tech world, thank God for the media. So you just keep going, you keep finding out new things that is happening, you test different ways. You see what works for people, you see what works for you from what works for them that you've seen. You change your writing based on what you learn, based on what you learn. And in the quest of trying to see what's new, don't just go and jump on what you don't have an idea of. Okay, so you see that this is what's working and is that's what's trending now for writing skill, and you just jump on it. No, that's a no. So in the quest of trying to find out what's new, you should ensure that you change your writing based on what you learn and what you know, what you can teach people. So that's it for trying new things. And then there is tell people what to do. Of course, at the end, tell people what you want them to do. Make it easy for them to do it. I've already explained that before now. And then very, very importantly, be honest and fair. Be honest. As a writer, be honest. Always tell the truth in your writing. Always, even if you're writing a fiction that, okay, well, I think fiction is not even part of content writing now. Okay, so you always tell the truth in your writing. Don't try to trick or fool people. So then you make sure your writing looks very good on phones and tablets for those that are reading it, and then appeal to feelings too. You make people feel something when they read your writing, connect with what they want. So that's it for the whole principle. Like I said, I'm trying to summarize everything. So if I'm going to do an exhaustive teaching on these principles and the concept of writing and copywriting, I'd use more, I'd really do an elaborate and thorough teaching on them. So this is just like a summary of the whole thing, the whole concept, touching the presentation I have. So I'll move to the next slide, which is the importance of quality content. This here is very, 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 very important to pay attention to. Okay, because it's a vital role. As a writer, this is a huge vital role. Okay, so I'm going to be highlighting the importance of high quality content, okay, in the digital world, in the digital age. So, like I said in the bullet point I have, I'm going to be showing statistics or quotes that is related to content marketing effectiveness. Yeah, so we're going to be looking at all of that. So, for the one of the vital role, one of the importance of quality content here is building trust and credibility. Okay, building trust and credibility. This is a very important vital role because high quality content establishes your authority now and expertise in your field. You don't just say, I'm an expert in my field, I'm a good writer. No, it's the high quality content you put up is what establishes you. It is what brings you out to the field. Okay. And I think according to study, I don't know, by Edman, 63% of consumers trust technical experts. Of course, like I said before, when I was
Hello, Anita, are you there?
invented well crafted
Hello.
content.
I
Yeah,
I
you want
think
to
your
say
voice
something?
trailed off.
You want to
Your
say
voice trailed
something?
off. Yeah, your voice trailed off at some point. So could you take that point again?
Okay.
About creating high quality content and to establish yourself as a
Oh,
credible authority in the
yeah.
field. Yeah.
Okay. I said one of the important vital role, content vital role is building trust and credibility. Can you hear me now? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, all right. Awesome. Awesome. So I said high quality content now is what establishes your authority and expertise in your field. Okay. It's not just about saying, putting out words, I'm a writer, I am an expert in my field. No, it is your content and the high quality content at that that builds the trust and credibility. It helps to establish your authority and expertise in your field. It really helps to establish your authority. And for example, imagine you're seeking advice on a complex medical condition now. Would you trust a hastily written blog post or a well-researched article authored by respected medical experts? So yeah, most people would choose to go for a well-researched article than that thing that you just come online and you see a lot of information keep popping up on your screen. You won't just because it's a complex medical condition, you won't just choose anything. You won't just choose any blog post you see out there. And so you go for a well researched article. So high quality content authored by reputable sources like renowned authors, it builds trust and credibility. And so you see people coming back for more. So when they want to search for health issues or other issues that's touching other niche, they just know, okay, we can trust this website, we can trust this content, we can trust this author. Okay, so that's just it. So just as you trust a renowned surgeon over an amateur, well, most people don't even know how to differentiate an amateur from a renowned surgeon. So, but then the message there is that your audience trusts authoritative content a lot. So I'll move to the next one, which is engagement and audience retention. Yeah, this also is also an important vital role to take note of. Content that resonates with your audience it keeps them engaged. If you just resonate with them, it keeps them engaged. What's this? HubSpot reports that businesses with blogs receive 55% more website visitors, and is demonstrating the power of compelling content in attracting and retaining an audience. So you see, is very, 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 very important. Let's say, for instance, you think of a gripping novel now. So you keep turning the pages because the story is very engaging. I already mentioned that before. Okay, but I just want to throw more light. So it's very, very similarly to high quality content. It keeps your audience engaged. For instance, an engaging video tutorial or a captivating blog series, it can hold your audience attention just like a great novel keeps readers hooked, you see. So it's very, very important as you're trying to throw up your quality content, take note of engagement and audience retention. You can't retain your audience when your content is not engaging. Okay, what will now keep them to come back? What will make them to how would you guys expand your partnership or your what's it called now? The lead, to retain the lead. Oh, I think I'm going to talk about lead generation also. So that's it for engagement and audience retention. Then there is the SEO. Yeah, that's the search engine optimization. So I think quality content is a cornerstone of CEO. Sorry, SEO now. Yeah, search engine is a huge cornerstone of um, of SEO. So Google's algorithm prioritize content that is informative. If you notice, okay, content that are very informative, relevant, and well structured. So the algorithm keep prioritizing these contents. So, for instance, a quote from Google's former CEO, Eric Eric Hint. He says the internet is becoming a cesspool where false information thrives. So brand affinity is eroding at a faster rate than ever. So that is very, very, very important to take note of that too. For example, like Google is like a librarian now, helping people find the best looks in a vast library. So well structured informative content is like a well cataloged book. So when you provide quality content, Google recommends it to searchers. Just as you trust a librarian's recommendation now, people trust Google's results a lot. People trust Google's results. I know of someone I was counseling someone one time ago about a health issue as touching ovulation now. I saw it a book on ovulation. So I told her, okay, this is it. But because she has information from Google. It was a struggle to take her eyes out off now from what's happening on Google, like the information she has and what I'm teaching her. So but what stood out for her was I told her Google gives you plenty information, but then the practitioners gives you the right application to it. And so she was able to see reasons with me and she was able to apply the measures I gave her. So the point there is that people trust Google results. So you have to ensure that your quality content, you have to ensure you ensure to use search engine optimization for your content. Yeah, so then you have the lead generation. Yeah, so I think content marketing is highly effective tool for lead generation. It's very, very, very effective tool for generating leads now. Demand metric reports that content marketing costs 62% less than traditional marketing. And that's the truth. That's just the truth. And it generates about 3 times as many leads. You can try that, and I've tried that out so several times. Okay, there is this group I'm volunteering for they want to host a conference on digital marketing. So when we did the live session for the traders in the city where we want to host the conference now, um, by at the end of the session, we found out that a lot of them had like they've been experiencing this you know issues with making sales, especially if you're in an area that is affected by the weather in the part of the world where I am. Okay, so when we show them the importance and how they can push out their content on the tech space now on the internet. So it was they saw the idea, they saw the reasons with it, and most of them that tried it out or that started trying it out, they came back with massive testimonies. The result was very huge for them. So content marketing is a very highly effective tool. So for instance, consider a fishing analogy. Traditional marketing is like using a big net to catch fish, but it's often mixed results. But then content marketing, on the other hand, is like using specific bait now for the fish you want to catch. You see the difference now. Traditional marketing, e use the big net to catch the fish, but the content writing now gives you a specific bait for the fish. And so I think it's more cost effective and generates higher quality leads. Just as a skilled angler catches the desired fish, content marketing attracts the right customers. So that's one of the important quality content in writing. Then there's the customer education. Good content educates your customers. You don't just write, yeah, aside making your content lively and catchy, you should also ensure them take more informed decisions now. So it starts from the Content Marketing Institute. That's I think statistics. Yeah, it shows that 82% of consumers feel more positive about a company after reading custom content, and that's just the truth. That's just the explanation. So I'd like example, picture someone shopping for a new smartphone and they come across two websites. One has detailed informative articles about various smartphone features and brands, while the other provides only basic information. The consumer is more likely to trust and choose the first website because it educates them more about their choices, just like a knowledgeable salesperson would. So once they have a good information, once they are more informed about their choices, it will help them not to make mistakes in making choices. And so it's very, very important that you take note of customer education. And so when putting out a content, ensure that it educates people. Yeah, so there is a social media amplification also. Social media amplification now is quality content that is more likely to be shared on social media platforms. Yeah. For instance, if you're trying to build your skill as a writer, there is a need for you to push out quality content. Share on your social media platforms. What's the name? Nelson study found that 92% of consumers trust recommendations. Recommendations is very, very vital, very vital. And so, and especially recommendations from people they know, which can even lead to organic growth in your online presence. So it's very, very important to take note of your social media amplification. Like for instance, a meme. A lot of persons that they use I think there was a viral meme that trended sometime on Twitter on Twitter. So the what it does is that it spreads rapidly because it resonates with people a lot. So high quality content, whether a heartwarming story, a humorous video, or a thought-provoking feature, it has the same effects. It gets shared organically on social media, and it helps to reach a wider audience. So it's very, very important to take note of that. And then there's the brand loyalty, which is like the last on my list, the brand loyalty. So consistently providing valuable content builds a loyal customer base. That's just it. That's just it. So the stats here is that companies where established content marketing strategies experience a 27% higher click-through rate and 34% higher conversion rate. How do you explain that? It's just the brand loyalty. So, for instance, now imagine a coffee shop that not only serves great coffee, but also publishes a monthly magazine about coffee culture. They offer the tips, the stories, the insights. Customers who engage with this content feel a stronger connection to the brand. They become loyal patrons, just like fans of a favorite author who eagerly anticipate their next book. So these examples helps to bring light to the importance of high quality content. So that's why I'm trying to put up an example for each quality content I mentioned. I try to use quotes and statistics is to bring it home for you to see. Okay, this will help your content to be more engaging and relatable to your audience. So I think the summary is like this high quality content is just like a linchpin of digital success in driving trust, engagement, SEO rankings, as I mentioned, lead generation, customer education, social media presence, and brand loyalty. So these things helps a lot. So there's a quote from Eric that says, "In an I love Eric a lot, so I love bringing up his quotes. I read a lot too. So in an era of information overload, it's crucial to counter misinformation with well-crafted, trustworthy content. Yeah, so that's like it for this slide. We move to the next slide, defining content writing and copywriting. Okay, I'm almost done. Oh, 10:48. Okay, so I'll just rush this slide. I'll just rush this slide because I see I'm already past my time. So it's very simple. Everything I've been trying to explain, everything I've been talking about, the importance of quality content, the introduction, the stats and everything all boils down to a simple definition of content writing. You see, you cannot even be able to thrive on all these things I've mentioned when you don't even understand the concept, when you don't even understand the definition and even differentiating it, because when differentiating between content writing and copywriting helps a lot so that you know when you're writing. Like for instance, under content writing, you have non-fiction now. Okay, so I write non-fiction stories, I write technical writings and all. That's very different from copywriting. Okay, so content writing is simply the art of creating engaging and informative written materials for various platforms. It has to be very engaging and informative, highly informative. If you're adding stories, if you're adding what's it called? If you're gonna use what's the word now? Examples. Okay, you have to ensure that it's very informative because it is used on various platforms now as websites. You can you can work as a content writer for websites, blogs, social media. Okay, the important thing on content writing is it helps to educate, entertain, or inform the audience. But then while educating and informing them, you have to maintain a consistent tone and
Hello?
then.
Hello, Anita. Are you there? I can't hear you anymore.
Oh, I think my network is bad now. Now,
Okay, so
can
if
you
you could
hear me?
just, yeah, if you could just rush over the last thing you said again. I can hear you now.
Oh,
Please go ahead.
okay, yeah. Okay. I said about content writing now. In as much as it educates people and inform people, okay, and also entertain them, you should also ensure to maintain a consistent tone and style while writing. I'm explaining content writing. I'm trying to differentiate content writing from copywriting. Okay, so content writing is more focused on providing value to the reader. It provides value to the reader, and so you have to maintain a consistent tone and style. You don't move from this tone to another tone, you don't move from this style to another. You just to maintain a consistent tone. For instance, imagine you're writing a blog post about which topic now? Okay, because I'm a health person, I would say 10 tips for healthy living. Yeah, imagine you're writing a blog post, 10 tips for healthy living. So your goal as a content writer is to provide valuable advice and insight to the readers. You offer practical tips and you explain their benefits. Okay, so you maintain a tone, you maintain a style for your writing. So you don't just scatter your words and end up confusing your audience. Yeah. So that's that for content writing. Then for copywriting, on the other hand, remember I said I'm just this is like a summary. It is not an exhaustive teaching now. Yeah. So copywriting, on the other hand, is the craft of persuasive writing. Your writing has to persuade your audience. It has to be persuasive. And copywriting is primarily for marketing and advertising. Don't miss the two. Copywriting, it is primarily for marketing now and advertising. So copywriters aim to persuade and motivate readers to take a specific action. Okay, in your copy you ensure that they are taking an action, such as making a purchase, signing up for stuffs, clicking a link. It all has to be about driving conversions and sales. For instance, think of a compelling product description on an e-commerce website now. So a copywriter's job is to create persuasive content that highlights the product's features and benefits. And it has to be the unique features. That's where the skill comes in. Yeah, so that's where the skill comes in. If you're going to show the uniqueness in your products now, the features and benefits, you have to craft a very catchy content, sorry, copy for it, and which will ultimately make your reader to buy. Once they engage, they will buy. Okay, for instance, imagine you're launching a new line of organic skincare products, and your content writer would create informative blog posts. You as a writer now, you would create an informative blog post now about the benefit of organic ingredients and skincare routine. Yeah, so you write on stuffs that has to push the products. That's for the content writer now. Your own is that you would create informative blog posts. Remember, I'm explaining the two, and the example I just gave is for content writing. So you as a content writer, if you're marketing a skill, an e-commerce website, your own is to create informative blog posts now about the benefits of the organic ingredients and the skincare routine. You can write an article, you can put up the title, for instance, the how organic ingredients work. You can say the science behind glowing skin. You now say how the thing works. But your copywriter, on the other hand now, if you're a copywriter now, you can be the two. So now the difference is, as a copywriter, what you will now do for the product is you would craft product descriptions. You see the difference now. You craft product descriptions like experience radiance now. Remember the first example, they are to see the science behind glowing skin, how the organic ingredients work. But as a copywriter now, you can just put up a headline like experience radiance, organic blah blah blah, youthful skin to entice customers to make a purchase. Your own is whatever thing you're writing as a copywriter, you must ensure that your customers will make a purchase. So the summary of the whole thing is that content writing is about educating and engaging the audience, while copywriting is all about persuading them to take a specific action. But I can tell you for free, both are crucial in today's digital landscape, with content providing value and copy driving conversions. Both of them are very, very, very important. So it's also very necessary that you expand your niche as a copywriter and a content writer. That is a way to these things. That's when the training now comes in for you, how to become a good copywriter, the steps, everything. That's the thorough, exhaustive teaching now on copywriting and content writing. This is like an introductory and a summary together, put together for you to know, okay, have an idea of what's going on in the writing world. Then, if you now want to expand more, that's where the main training comes in for you. So that's like it from the next slide. I think the last one on my slide is the monetization strategy. Here is the beautiful part of it. Is the beautiful part of it. I'm very, very thrilled to share the monetization strategy because it will not only boost your copywriting and content writing skills, it will also fill your pockets. You see, you also fill your pocket with success stories. So as you are building up your skill, as you're building up your community or whatever you love to do, you're also making your money from it. You're also making your money from it. So imagine you are a talented copywriter. Okay, so that's like the first strategy now. As a copywriter now, you can decide to plunge into the world of freelancing. You offer your services on platforms. Now, there's this one now is very important. It's very, very important because I know a lot of people that have skills, but they don't even know platforms where they can sell their skills, where they can put up themselves for their audience to see, where they will get people that will pay them for their skills now. So it's very, very, I'll quickly mention this platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. Okay. Initially, if you want to start up or if you're starting up your writing skill as a copywriter or a content writer, it is very, very important that you start out with lower rates to build your portfolio because there are other writers too that are on the Upwork already, these freelancing sites, Fiverr or Upwork. There are people that have been there, there are people that have been writing, are very skilled, they're very good at what they do. And so it's very, very important that remember when I was explaining the previous slide, I said you have to show what makes you special, why they should leave their previous skilled writer for you. And so once you're starting up on these platforms, on these freelancing sites, you have to start out with lower rates to build your portfolio. So then as you complete more projects now and gather positive reviews, look at it, you can gradually increase your price. Well, people make the mistake of increasing their price. You just go on Upwork and they are doing $15 per hour. How? Who are you when you are just starting? Even if you are so good at your skill, like you are very, very good at what you do, just because you just come up to this platform, start with reducing your rate. Yeah, once your job is good, you keep getting recommendations and the algorithm will be pushing more jobs to you. When you've gained enough visibility, you can now gradually increase your price. Okay. I know of someone that started their freelancing journey that was just charging, I think it was between $5 to $7 per hour. But now she's a top rate worker now on Upwork. Yeah. So that's it. And your client list will keep growing. So freelancing allows you to set your own rates and build a reputation. This writing thing is a freelancing journey. So it allows you to set your own rate and build a reputation that leads to higher paying clients. But then you have to start from somewhere. Yeah. So the second one is you how the another strategy of how you can monetize your skill is by building your personal brand. Now, for people that wants to build their personal brand, okay, you can create your own brand as a content writer. You can establish yourself as an expert in your niche. You can attract clients who are willing to pay a premium for your specialized knowledge. You get so a content writer, you start a blog sharing, in-depth reviews and insights. And before you know it, you gain followers and credibility. Before you know it, tech companies will start approaching you for sponsored content. You start earning. Okay, and it will not just be about the money now, it also be about the exclusive access to gadgets and all. So that's like it. So the lesson there is just build your personal brand. Building your personal brand can turn into your passion into can turn your passion into a profitable venture now. That's the next. Then third one on my strategy is digital products now and courses. This one is also very important because you consider leveraging your writing expertise to create digital product and courses. For instance, you could craft an ebook. I write ebooks too, and I make good cash from it. So you could craft an ebook on persuasive copywriting or develop an online course on content marketing. It will just you will just see the cash flow. You will just see the cash flow. Okay, so that's it. And there are platforms where you can sell your ebooks. It's not just about writing and I don't know, generating leads now. There are platforms like Seller, there's the Amazon where you can sell your books and your audience will rush to it. But then while you are creating your ebook, ensure to take note of the key principles I mentioned. Of course, you will train your skills enough. So your knowledge is a valuable asset. It can be packaged into digital products for ongoing income straight out. Then there's the agency success. If you dream big, you can start your own copywriting agency. Is a very thrilling option. You can assemble a team of talented writers and you will take on larger projects for businesses. That's a very huge one. You just build your agency and then that's it. The money, the cash flow will keep pumping in. Okay. So and I know of someone that started his journey as a solo copywriter, but later on he found an agency. Okay, and by offering his comprehensive solutions, he was able to secure the contract and with a major company and he's still establishing more contracts with more major companies. Now he has transformed his agency to a seven-figure business. You can imagine that. So scaling up with an agency can lead to substantial income and business growth. Yeah, so that's it. So the thing is, your skill in copywriting, this is the conclusion now, because this is like the last thing I have on my slide. So I'm concluding now. So I'll just say this for free to my audience and you that wants to build up your skill as a copywriter, as a writer generally. In copywriting and content writing, they are not just tools for communication. No. They are not just tools for communication, they are also powerful instruments for financial success. So whether you choose freelancing or personal branding, as I said, or digital products or starting an agency, look at the things that you can choose and you making good cash. Well, the end point is that you remember that your journey is an adventure. Writing is an adventure and it's filled with stories waiting to be written. So embrace it and you just utilize the opportunity. Okay, so that's it for I think I've come to the end of this session. And so I hope I hope the whole presentation helps to inspire and give the audience more okay, it inspires you to keep up with your skill or to add more grease to whatever you have ongoing there. And I pray it brings fulfillment and financial rewards to you. Okay, so I've come to the end of the session. I'd love to take questions now. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Anita. That was a very comprehensively detailed session. I love how you delved into, you're very adept at what you do apparently because you were in Chinua Achebe's words, you were eating the hills like yam. That was very beautiful. You talked
Okay.
about storytelling, talked about trying new things. You talked about SEO, that's search engine optimization, ranking, and you've talked about how that Google algorithm is big on on materials that are content rather that are educational, relevant, and well structured. You've also talked about how that putting out high quality content will establish you as a credible authority in whatever field that you are presenting yourself in. You've talked about building trust and credibility. You've talked about how content writing, I think my favorite thing you've said on today's session is how that content writing is highly effective for customer education. And I believe from everything that you have said that content writing is a prep. It's a way of prepping your audience for your copy. So the content writing comes before your copywriting. And it's so beautiful how much we can achieve with content writing. I'm big on that. And I have learned so much from your session this morning. And I cannot wait to apply what I have learned to my writing. And you've also differentiated between content writing and copywriting, and I think that newbie writers will really find that useful because I remember starting out, it was always a question. It was always a debate. Content writing, does it fall under copywriting? Does copywriting fall under content writing? Which one comes first? What's the difference between both? But having you address that is very useful for up and coming writers or people who want to get better in writing. So because of time, you have I have a few questions for you, but you have successfully answered some of them. So I will be asking you just two questions. Just two questions. I had a lot of questions, but you talked about it. One of the questions I wanted to ask was the question of where you can work as a copywriter and as a content writer, which you have answered. And you've answered the question of platforms, you've answered the question of how to get started. You've talked about Upwork, you talked about Upwork, you talked about I've forgotten what the other one is called, but you've talked about how to get started,
Fiverr.
the place. Sorry, Fiverr. Yeah, Fiverr. And I think I was just smiling in my heart all through. I was trying to keep the grin off my face because it's a question of, oh, I've been there. I know how that works. I was just smiling in agreement because the pricing strategy you talked about is a big deal. And then you talked about the importance of getting reviews and recommendations, which is quite very true. So because you answered most of my question, I will just be asking you I think two questions. The first question I want to ask you is, for some writers, people who are naturally talented, because talent is different from skill. People who are talented at writing, they have a natural flair for it and they are honing their skills. How do they find their niche? Somebody's asking out there, how do I find my niche? I'm so good at writing, especially creative writing, for instance, right? Because there's technical writing. Technical writing requires a lot more research. It requires, and you have pointed that out. I mean, statistics, quotes, figures, numbers, and all of that. Technical writing requires a whole more of that. But creative writing, on the other hand, where you just let it flow, it works more with inspiration. So my question is two in one. One, how can I find my niche? And two, in everything you said, I was listening to catch you talk about inspiration, but you didn't. And that is a good thing because um, there's been a lot of contention in the field of writing. Should I write when I'm inspired? What if I don't feel inspired? What if I don't get inspired? What am I going to do? Do I wait until inspiration comes? So you answer this question two in one. One, how can I find my niche as a writer? And two, where is the place of inspiration in my writing? And I would love for you to answer that question in 60 seconds. I think you can do justice to that in that time about now. Thank you. And then we'll call this a wrap.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Your question says, how do for people that has natural thing for like that naturally talented at writing, how do they find their niche? Okay. Yeah, that's very simple. I mentioned training while I was talking. Yeah, so for those that are talented now, it's not an acquired skill. First off, they have to take note of uh, okay, exploring topics and see what resonates with them most. Okay, some writers find their niche with their personal experience or passion. Okay, but to be more professional, because you're already naturally talented now, that you will not take out the place of training, enhancing your skills, meeting up with people that have standards, people that have a very good knowledge. And so they prep you, they train you now that has the natural skill. And so it gives you now the right application as to the one you niche down to. So for more professional reasons, it's not just enough to write out with from your experience now, from your natural talents now. Okay, so the training helps you now. You know, okay, this is what I'm good at. This is the topic I'm good at. So I think the summarized word there is for the person that has a natural talent, that's naturally talented, go for training, take up courses. It helps you to take the right application to reach. So I think I don't know if I've answered your question for the first one.
Yes, you have. You have. Please just go ahead to the second question.
Okay, so you
Where is
said
the
the second
place of
one is
inspiration?
where is the place of, sorry, can you recap the question?
The
Where is
question
the
is,
place
where
of
is the place of inspiration? Yes, from the background of all that argument that comes with, I don't feel inspired today, so I can't write. Should I wait until inspiration comes? What do I do if I don't have inspiration?
Oh, okay. Awesome. That's very simple. If someone wants to dive into the world of writing, someone wants to move to the writing skill, I think inspiration for writing can come from many different places. Okay, it could be something the writer sees or experience in their daily life. Okay, like a conversation with a friend or a beautiful sunset. That's for people that wants to look out for an inspiration now. It comes from many different places. It could also come from reading other writers' work. This one worked for me. Okay, it could come from writing movies or TV shows. Sorry, watching movie shows now or listening to music. Some writers find inspiration in nature. Okay, while others draw theirs from art, history, and all of that. So inspiration just strikes randomly. But the thing is, if you want to move into the niche now and you're not feeling inspired, just go ahead because this is what you want to do. In your head, you want to move to it, but you're not inspired. Just move, but then ensure to surround yourself with like-minded people now. Ensure to join a community that strives for it. So sooner or later, because inspiration comes randomly, you could just build up the inspiration as you are enhancing your skills. That's like the inspiration stuff. So I don't know if I answered your question, the question you have in your head.
Yes, you have. You have done justice to the question, and I thank you so very much. I'm saying this because it is often very underestimated the power of perception, the power of um, understanding. When people have a particular understanding or they give a meaning to a particular thing, they attach a label to a particular thing. That label goes on to decide or determine how far they will go, what they will do, where they will be, who they will meet. You know, it just changes a lot about the trajectory of their life. And I'm saying that to say that many people will wait for inspiration. Many people will not move until they feel inspired. So I was hoping that you would touch on that subject, and you have done justice to it. Just to buttress on it, it is important to do what you need to do without waiting for inspiration. Inspiration will come, but it must always find you working. Inspiration will always come when it finds you working. And inspiration is sometimes like drugs. People take things to be inspired, people take things to feel confident enough to perform and do all of that. But uh self mastery and mastery of yourself as an artist, because to me writers are artists. What you do with yourself is more important than what these external motivations and influences can do for you. You must be able to be independent of inspiration, whatever form it comes in. So I thank you, Anita, for joining us this morning on Expert Perspective, and it was a very beautiful one with you. This is where we will call it a wrap, and this is till next week. So to everyone watching this, to make sure to go over this and get your writing parts out there. And there's a lot of things to learn. I have learned a lot just hosting this session, and I look forward to seeing you on the show again next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.